Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarika. If you are new here, do not forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, leave a comment to see how I achieve this look. Keep watching, and I'm going to be sharing all the tea, spilling all the tea on how to become the best version of yourself and fall in love with you. So if you are interested, enjoy this video.
Oh, in a rise and boast. Yeah, we give thanks that we need it the most. We have to give thanks that we really supposed to. Thankful.
So as I get ready, I thought we would do a chit chat today, and the focus of my chit chat is becoming the best version of yourself, becoming the person you've always dreamed of, becoming the person that you've always envisioned for yourself. I feel like I am pretty close to that when I think about myself and where I've been and my journey over the past like 10 years or so. So I thought I would share some tips. I am getting ready to go out to my friend's birthday dinner. We're going to Margot in Toronto, so I'm gonna be getting ready. My mirror is down here, so I have to be looking down, but I am excited to chat with you. Not much has really changed in my makeup routine, so I'm not really going to kind of share what I'm doing in terms of makeup. But yeah, so I'm gonna start getting ready. So I thought I would start by kind of giving some context into why I've wanted to make this video for a while and have been thinking about it for a while. But as I kind of hinted at earlier, I feel like I have kind of grown into the person that I've always dreamed of for myself. I spent the kind of early part of my 20s really focusing on who I wanted to be, and I had a lot of anxiety around not meeting the expectations that I had for myself. And so I've kind of learned on a very complicated journey as I've gotten older as to how to get to that point in my life where I feel comfortable and I feel pretty confident in who I am. So I wanted to kind of define like what becoming the best version of myself looks like for me, and I think that this is something that is subjective. I feel like each person will have kind of like their own version of what this looks like. My version of like being the best me there is I am someone who is confident in myself. I no longer compare myself to others, and that is, if you knew me like maybe even like 3 years ago, this was something I really struggled with, and I've learned that that is such a big obstacle to becoming who I am if I'm constantly thinking about how I'm not someone else. Another thing that for me makes me the best version of myself is, you know, I'm successful in multiple ways. Like, I'm successful in my career, I'm successful in my relationships, I'm successful in like my, I guess you could call them like hobbies, passions, like YouTube. Like, just doing this means that I feel like I'm successful. Like, the fact that I am taking risks and putting myself out there, that to me is like being the best version of myself. Like 5 years ago, I would never do something like this. I'm settled. Like, I spent the first maybe like part of my maybe 6 years of my 20s being so unsettled. Like, quite literally, I lived in the States, and then I lived in Jamaica, and then I moved to Canada. Like, I've lived in 3 different countries in the past like decade, and that is super unsettling. You have to start over multiple times to like make new friends, get a new job, etc. So a big part of me becoming the best version of myself is finally feeling really settled as an adult, and as a person I feel also really like beautiful. And I don't just mean like on the outside. I have also kind of taken a journey of self-love, and I've come to love how I look and appreciate how I look, and but also like internally I feel like I have really kind of worked on who I am internally. And so I'm excited to kind of give you some tips and tricks that have worked for me and things that I've done to become this version of myself where I really do just love who I am. Like, I just feel like becoming the version of myself really is rooted from self-love, and all of the amazing, beautiful things will come from that. So I have talked about this openly before, and I never shy away from this, but my first step to becoming who I am today is therapy. I have been in therapy for 3 years now, and I feel like I don't need my therapist as much as I did when I just started therapy, but that came over time. But one, I'm like a huge advocate for therapy because it really worked for me, but also I know this again is something not everyone has access to. But in terms of how therapy helped me becoming the best version of myself, I found that I was really able to understand what my triggers were, things that did not serve me, understand why I felt certain ways about certain aspects of my life and relationships, and understand how my childhood has impacted kind of my interactions with others, and understanding a lot and understanding that part of myself and doing the work to understand how to ensure not to put myself in situations that would be harmful for me mentally and emotionally has done wonders for developing who I am and becoming this version of myself. I found that I spent a lot of my early 20s kind of triggering myself, and this is unconsciously, and sometimes I kind of knew what would impact me and I still did it anyway, and that did not serve me. So therapy for sure is such an important step in really doing the work to unlearn some of the unhealthy habits and traits that you may have, but also understanding how things that you may not even realize impact you and how to deal with that, right? Because it is so important to understand who you are. Like, you really have to get to know who you are to be able to make any changes or improvements. Something to add about therapy is that therapy also helped me figure out really good coping mechanisms and problem-solving skills. I kind of would default to like, oh my gosh, life is so hard, life sucks, I can't do this. And honestly, sometimes that is someone's reality. But I think therapy helped me to understand, again, how can I work on how my thoughts affect my feelings, and how can I find very effective solutions to my problems. One of which, for example, if I have a problem with a friend or in one of my relationships, I don't feel the need to cut someone off or stop talking to them. I know a good problem solving skill, if that makes sense. So therapy is one thing that I definitely feel led to me becoming the best version of myself. In terms of my number 2, this came from therapy, but understanding my core values. And this is something that I didn't realize was important until my therapist brought it up, but I had to really spend time to understand what are the things that are core to me and the things that I really care about and value as a person, because then I will make decisions that align with those core values. For example, I have no idea what I was just doing. So for example, one of my core values is relationships. So I am always going to make decisions. Now that I understand that about myself, I'm always going to make decisions that align with that core value. So I know that one of my core values is my relationships with others, and that could be my romantic relationship, that could be my familial relationships, and then my friends. And I'm always going to make decisions that align with that. So I'm going to value or prioritize spending time with my friends and my family because and my partner, just because that is something that is a core value to me and is super important to me. And because it's my core value, it allows me to feel super fulfilled. And I think fulfillment is it was something that I was missing in my younger days. And when you feel unfulfilled, I don't know how to explain that feeling. It's like a feeling of constant yearning for more. But because I understand what feeds me and what makes me feel good in terms of my core belief system, then that makes it easier for me to not have that unfulfillment, if that makes sense. So definitely you need to spend time understanding your core values. And I guess like a good place to start is just asking yourself, what are the things in your life that you honestly feel like you couldn't do without? Like I couldn't, for example, do without the relationships in my life. I couldn't do without travel. That's a core value, for example. I couldn't do without professional development. So like these are core values to me. So I'm always gonna make decisions that align with that. So I feel like that is also a step for you to take in understanding, again, who you are and making decisions that allow you to become the best version of yourself. So number 3 is developing a strong support system. And I've talked about this before in a previous chit chat, so I'm kind of like expanding on these ideas, but creating a strong support system, because a support system is going to, and I don't mean just, again, I know I talked about your core values and one of mine is being friends, but if your core value isn't relationships, for example, then that overlap might not take place. So you really do have to ensure you have a very good support system. And when I say a good support system, I also mean that a support system who will hold you accountable. I think my partner is so good at holding me accountable, and that's just one example, but like you really need someone or people in your life who will hold you accountable, right? Especially when you're just acting in ways that do not align with who you are, or if you're trying to make decisions, right? And I find that support is so important when you're trying to figure out what you want to do next in your life, or if you want to make big decisions about your life. So a good support system is so important, but also just like people who you just have around you, like, are they like benefiting you? And I don't mean that in a transactional way. I just mean like, do they make you happy? Like, bruh, you sometimes have to take a step back and look at the people in your life and be like, you are so toxic, or you are so like critical of me, or like you're so like overly negative. Like obviously we complain in life, and sometimes complaining can be so cathartic, but like people who are just constantly negative or constantly complaining, and I mean sometimes I get in that zone too, but I feel like if you surround yourself with people who are always complaining, always negative, then that's going to feed into you, and that's not going to allow you to become the best version of yourself. So literally, that is why who you support yourself with, it is so critical to your well-being and your self-development and self-improvement. And again, you may not think that's true, but I guarantee you, like, it will have an impact on who you are. And I'm someone who like I've been so blessed to have amazing people around me. Like, I said this in another video, but I'm just not the type to like cut people off. I kind of sit with people and really kind of solve problems, and that's because the people in my life are so amazing that I don't have issues to the point where I'm like, I gotta cut you off. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't have that. So I just feel like I'm blessed, and that kind of, again, speaks to the importance of having good people in your life. By the way, this is the first time I'm using like a thingy, and I really like. Ooh, okay. This is good. Okay. Okay, so I think I'd only use this for under my eye though. Never mind, I'm gonna use it here. The next thing that helped me become the best version of myself is building a routine and healthy habits. So I mentioned this before, I was very unsettled in the earlier parts of my 20s, and honestly, that is an underrated thing. Like, stability is something that is so underrated. I think we know how important it is, but sometimes we don't articulate it when we're thinking about how it impacts us. And a part of me becoming stable, like quite literally, was getting my permanent residency and like getting new friends and all of that, yes. But building healthy habits and building a routine. If you ask people who are extremely close to me, they will tell you I'm such a huge planner. Having a routine helps me to stay consistent, and consistency leads to, for me, peace of mind, and peace of mind helps me to become the best version of myself. A version of me that is all over the place, that feels unsettled, that feels uneasy, that feels chaotic, that doesn't know what's going on, is not a version of myself that I want to manifest. I want to be extremely like put together and know what's happening. And that is what like routines do for me. They anchor me. I can't, for example, again, align with my core values if I don't have a routine. If I know that today's the day I'm gonna hang out with my friend, I have that planned in. If I know that I'm gonna film a YouTube video, I have that planned in. If I know that I'm going to, I even plan like meal prepping, I plan going to the gym, I plan phone calls with my parents. I know it sounds a bit like much, and spontaneity is always good too, but I really lean to the side of over planning. Like, I honestly don't have the time in my schedule for a lot of spontaneity. Also, guys, I got this new Dior blush. Ooh. So I love my pink one. I have the pink one as well. So I love this one so much. I was like, I want to get all the colors. So I'm building up my collection. I become such a blush girly. So I got the coral, I think this is. Yeah, so I'm gonna wear it today. I'm excited because I'm wearing white, so I think coral is gonna look super pretty. Yeah, so routines help, and then with routines come a lot of habit building. Like, routines just foster habits because you are kind of getting into that repetitive space of doing things over and over and over. So because I am such a big planner, that facilitates me being, ooh, it's very like understated. So I don't know if I love it yet, but I feel like maybe when I get the light off, I can see it. Ooh, I see it. Ooh. I'm such a subtle, understated girl. Anyway, so building healthy habits will help you do and feel so good. Like, imagine you wake up and, you know, your habit is to drink some tea. Like, tea is such a like calming thing, and it can settle your stomach, and having a settled stomach makes you feel better in the day. Or, you know, journaling, like getting your thoughts out, having something that's kind of quote unquote listening to you, but it is your safe space. Or, you know, if you are a podcast person, like you build that habit into your routine. All of these things are things that you may think are small, but have an impact on your life. And I cannot overstate the relationship between my routines, healthy habits, and just feeling really good. Like, just feeling good. And feeling good is such an important part of being the best version of yourself, because I think obviously a less happy version of yourself is not the best you that there is. Okay, so next thing that I think will help you, you see that I'm putting so much blush on, it's because I love blush. Yes, don't judge me. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is having clear goals, and this is also related to having a routine and building healthy habits. But goals, let me tell you, I'm a teacher, so let me tell you, having a goal, I tell this to my students, like, have a goal and make this goal attainable, make it specific, and make it clear. If you just say, I want to be the best version of me, that's a goal, but you haven't really described how you're going to attain that. You haven't described what that will look like for you, right? Because being the best version is so subjective. So for me, clear goals at the start of the year, so I have been vision boarding for the past 2 years. They allow me to go back and reflect. And so I can say, like, for example, one of my goals this year was to post a video every week on YouTube. That is a clear and specific goal that is so measurable, because I can literally know if I don't post. I will say it may not have happened every single week, but I have been on my Zoom when it comes to YouTube. I have literally been on my Zoom, and I have been very consistent. Another goal of mine was, for example, to learn how to put on eyeliner. It's not the end of the year yet, but the VIB like Sephora sale is next week, and I have eyeliner in there because that is one of my goals for the year, and I want to learn how to do eyeliner because one of my core values is beauty. I love looking good, I love feeling good, and so I have worked effortlessly on building out my style, my makeup, and things like that. So having clear goals, again, helps you to figure out how you're going to get to certain points in your life. And you can have goals under various categories. You can have career goals, you can have relationship goals, you can have like gym, fitness goals, you can have beauty goals, you can have so many goals. Like, the world is your oyster. I will say try not to make too many goals because then it might feel overwhelming if you have like 300 goals, unless you have a pretty wide time frame. So you have 300 goals in 10 years or something, right? So again, be realistic with your goals. Like for me, I know they tell you can do anything, and yes, to a certain extent, but for me, like an unrealistic goal for me would be like becoming an astronaut. Like at this point in my life, no. So realistic goals. And again, having goals will help you feel more fulfilled, will help give your life a sense of direction, which will help you feel more settled, stable. It will make you feel like a sense of accomplishment when you achieve these goals. And again, they do not have to be material goals. Like literally, you just want to wake up earlier. Like that's not a material goal, but it's something that will help you feel more productive perhaps. Okay, so that is my next tip. And then my last kind of thing that has helped me become the best version of myself is nourishing myself. And what I mean by that is, I don't mean like literally what food I put in my body, although that's very important, but I mean like what am I doing to nourish my brain and my emotions? So I read a lot, and I try to like engage in the news, and I like listen to podcasts. Some people have like devotionals, some people like do affirmations, some people, you know, watch documentaries, like these things that will teach you new things about various societies, cultures, people. Like you have to like learn. Like learning is such an important part of growing, and like if you aren't learning and you aren't enriching your body and your mind, it's gonna feel stagnant at certain points, right? I don't know, I just can't see myself being 50 years old and knowing the same amount of things that I did when I was 25. Like I have to keep nourishing myself and like putting things into my mind, feeding my soul. And that could be like new music, or like literally you can define what that looks like. But I'm gonna set my face. But it is important to nourish yourself in order to push yourself to grow. Okay, so those are kind of like 5 things that, or 6 things that I would suggest as a start for becoming the best version of yourself. Again, this is something that is, you also have to be patient with all of these things. As I told you, it's taken me almost a decade to get to a point in life where I feel pretty good. So be patient and really trust the process, because I really feel like it can happen for anyone. I'm going to do my hair and then kind of put on my clothes and then come back and show you the final look. So I'll be back. Okay everyone, so this is the finished look. So I got my hair done. So let's whoop. So wearing my Bottega dupe earrings, the drop earrings, cutie, the Hermes thingy, bracelet, gold watch, bracelet, my little rings, my like LV chain, show you the outfit. So the dress is from JLux label. I am wearing these black, oh, you can't see, these black heels. And I am wearing C Passion, like by Giorgio Armani, and also YSL Libre as my scent. I'm wearing my Summer Fridays Vanilla as my lip, and I love my little look. And so I hope that my tips were really helpful for you. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you in the next one.